What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, the brand new CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery after their merger, David Zaslav, has not come onto the scene quietly. Huge shakeups to both companies, and especially as it pertains to Warner Brothers film franchises and those adjacent to the DCEU, where the shakeup has already started with Batgirl's cancellation, as well as a ton of other projects being realigned and possibly on the chopping block. One of which happens to be Ezra Miller's Flash, amid all of these headlines and controversy that they have been generating lately. And as it turns out, Ezra Miller themselves have issued an official statement last night, super late last night, early this morning. We're going to cover exactly what Ezra Miller said about what's going on with them, what's going on with their current circumstance, and how this falls in line with what's going on with David Zaslav and the rest of Warner Brothers as it pertains to either shelving, canceling, or continuing on with any of these DCEU projects, including The Flash. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. Today happens to be DC, but really comic book media adjacent news every day, and that's all we do. Everything from official interviews, headlines, breaking news, all the way to the industry insider scoops and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That'll automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so this breaking again late last night, early this morning, in an exclusive from The Hollywood Reporter under the headline, Ezra Miller seeking treatment for complex mental issues, where Ezra Miller went on to issue a statement via their representative to The Hollywood Reporter saying this, quote, "Having recently gone through a time of intense crisis, I now understand that I am suffering complex mental health issues and have begun ongoing treatment. I want to apologize to everyone that I have alarmed and upset with my past behavior. I am committed to doing the necessary work to get back to a healthy, safe, and productive stage in my life." Now, in case you needed a refresher, Miller has been generating non-stop headlines this year. They were arrested in Hawaii twice earlier this year, once in March for disorderly conduct, another a month later in April for an alleged assault. You then had the headlines from the parents of the 18-year-old generating this protection order against Miller. To be fair, that person has denied all the coercion claims. And then again, real recently on August 8th, just last week, Miller was charged with felony burglary from an incident back in May where he apparently stole alcohol from an unoccupied home. Now, first and foremost, while I'm sure there are those who will benefit from his apology with mental health issues, it is just good to know that he's getting help, and I'm sure there's not a single person out there who doesn't wish him the best in his recovery for whatever's going on. In that regard, he owes no one an explanation. The timing, however, I will point out, of this statement coming via a representative is super interesting, considering all of the news that's been generated about The Flash and the DCEU in just the last 10 days. Zaslav and the rest of the team over there had been very public via the headlines and news outlets about what they were planning to do with their properties, and there were apparently many options they were considering for what to do with The Flash, including axing the movie altogether. You guys have to remember, Zaslav inherited this entire disaster over at DCEU. He didn't put this together, orchestrate it. He really has no responsibility to it at all. It might even just be easier in some cases for him to cancel projects altogether, and we just saw that with Batgirl because of whatever reason was offered, whether it didn't fall in line with the releases they wanted, the way they wanted in between theater and HBO Max, or he just didn't think much of the project. You have the same thing going on with Ezra Miller, and Ezra making it terribly, terribly difficult for him not to just want to cancel that movie altogether. I have a sneaking suspicion, because of how important that movie is in setting up the rest of the films and how they connect, that trying to avoid scratching that is number one on his list. But just last week, they did mention that trying to get Ezra Miller help was one of the things that they were considering, and it seems as though no matter what wheels had to turn in the last week or so, that David Zaslav, the top brass over at Warner Brothers, may have been successful in facilitating this. And I'm sure there will be more details that come out in stories, etc. But when it comes to Ezra Miller, whether it was of his own volition, an intervention, a sober moment, the people over at DC, regardless of what it was, it is really good to hear that he sounds like he's back on his way to getting healthy. And really, I know there are a lot of people out there who don't want to give people a second chance, who don't want to accept people's apologies and just want to vilify. But some of our most beloved Marvel heroes, one in Robert Downey Jr., came from a very, very dark place. It's never too late to turn it around, and when you're dealing with, as what he refers to, complex mental issues, I'm sure there's not a single one of us who can't empathize, either directly with whatever we've dealt with or with family members. So let's try to give him some time and some space. I wish him the best in getting recovered and hopefully getting healthy and getting safe. You know, it's a shame. I already saw a ton of headlines late last night and even some early this morning, especially here on YouTube, asking if his apology is a little too late or is it enough, or even claiming that his apology and sort of going into rehab only comes amid the rumors that it was about to get canceled, that being his film in the first place, and saying basically, is it genuine or disingenuous? That is, I think, really not up for me to decide. What I will say about movies in general, though, is that while we go to Marvel movies for the storyline at this point, and we're happy to have unknown actors take some of those beloved character roles, and for the most part in film, people go to the films for the actors. And I know that, at least personally, up till now, I would have had a hard time going to see the Flash film and wanting to support Ezra Miller and support the Flash, given everything that's come out. So while I won't sit here and weigh in on whether I think his apology is genuine or whether or not he's only doing this because Warner Brothers Discovery is telling him he'll be fired otherwise, not up for me to decide, and I really do truly wish him well. But I think it is fair to say that there are going to be those who are not going to support the film, period, no matter what happens between now and then, and DC is acutely aware of that. Zaslav knows exactly what's included in this. So basically, just from the outside looking in, Ezra Miller on his best behavior between now and next year may be just enough to save the Flash, but there's still a long way to go between now and then, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. Let me know your comments down below, how you feel about this and the Flash movie in general, and what in the world you think is going on over at Warner Brothers right now with all these cancellations and movings of the slate. Do you believe the headlines that David Zaslav wants to go with the Snyderverse? I happen to be in favor of that. I think the Snyder Cut Justice League was amazing, regardless of whether or not Warner Brothers was sandbagging with all those bots reports. I thought it was a better cut than the film. You guys let me know your thoughts down below quickly. Let's jump into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Okay, first up, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s all the way up to 1 million subscribers. The next milestone is 980, which we could easily hit by this month's end or next. If you want to be entered to win, all you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, especially in these random days of no YouTube notifications anymore. Whatever it is, but hitting the notification bell certainly helps. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name is Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places. Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name Allfires. I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, and if you've already come this far in the video, you're still listening in the 7-minute and 30-second mark right before you guys get out of here, I am still in a competition that should be open until September 15th. With free daily voting. You can vote once a day with a Facebook account. Yeah, I know, Facebook account, boomer alert for sure, but it's because you can spam with Gmail accounts. It's a competition I'll leave linked down in the description or the comments. It's for Opening Act by Odyssey.com, and it's for my band Allfires, what I just told you about, and hence the AKA, to have my first live show at an insane show at the Hollywood Bowl in LA. So if you support me as a content creator and want to do so one step further and for free, hitting the link and voting today, and really any day that you remember between now and the finals on September 15th, I would sincerely appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.